Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to South Boston Speedway. I'm Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team, bringing you today's feature event. It's 40 fast laps in the iRacing Advanced Legends Cup at South Boston. These are the cars and stars of the Legends Series. This is the second split, the next to the top. These drivers on the cusp of being in that top group in the Advanced Legends Series. Let's have a look at today's starting lineups. Starting in the 14th spot, in car number 14, he races out of Hildebrand, North Carolina. That is Terry Watson in the SimSpec PC Towers Legends car. Starting in the 13th spot, in car number 2, that's the Busch Light Legends car of Zachary Apperson. Zachary also out of North Carolina. Starting in the 12th spot, in car number 8, racing out of the Carolinas as well, it's the Jegs Legends car of Christopher Walden. Starting 11th, racing out of the Midwest, it's the Captain Jack's Legends car of Kaleb Gillock. Caleb out of the Midwest and also a member of the Johnson iRacing team. Starting 10th, in car number 6, that is A.J. Mikesell racing out of Jacksonville, Florida. Starting in the 9th spot, in car number 11, it's the MPI Dirty Mo Radio Legends car of Luis Martinez. Luis racing out of the Northeast region. In the 8th starting spot, in car number 5, that is Robert Matthews in the Old Schools Motorsports car out of Missouri. Starting in the 7th spot, in car number 9, that is Carl Penfold out of Australia, New Zealand. Starting in the 6th spot, in car number 13, that's the Dirty Mo car of Jesse Holler, Jesse racing out of the Midwest. Now let's have a look at the top 5 drivers on the grid. Starting in the 5th spot, in car number 12, racing out of New York, it's Tyler Snyder. Starting in the 4th spot, racing out of Tampa, Florida, in car number 3, that is Scott Anderson. Starting 3rd, in car number 10, he races with us out of the Atlantic region. It's the Pennzoil Legends car of Alfredo Miranda. Starting in the 2nd spot, front row outside, racing out of the Carolinas regions, it's the Janaking Legends car of Stephen Leicht. And on the pole, in car number 7, racing out of Groton, Connecticut, it's the Route 7 car of Peter Kurtula. Pace car leads the field around South Boston Speedway. 40 laps at South Boston should be a very quick race. A good lap here can be really quick, so we could be looking at 13 minutes or so of racing in the Advanced Legends Cup. These drivers looking forward to 40 fast laps. The pace car now leads them through 3 and 4. The pace car looks like the pace car's in. The green flag is out. The 7 car of Peter Kurtula takes a quick early lead, followed by Miranda and Stephen Leicht. Kurtula jumps out to a quick lead. He puts that 7 car up front. Now it looks like Alfredo Miranda's dropped back into the 3rd spot. So it's Kurtula, Leicht, Miranda, Anderson, and Tyler Snyder, your top 5. A little bit of action in the back there. Somebody spinning, couldn't see who that was, but it's someone toward the rear of the field out front. It is still the 7 of Peter Kurtula. Stephen Leicht continues to run 2nd, Miranda 3rd. Jesse Holler now has moved up into the 4th spot with Scott Anderson 5th. Mikesell is in 6th with Snyder, Penfold, Walden. Kaleb Gillock, who started in 11, has moved up to 10th. Those are your top 10 drivers as we've completed 3 laps out of 40 here at South Boston. That's the 11 car of Luis Martinez. Martinez, the last car on the lead lap. He is just in front of our leader. That would be the 7 of Peter Kurtula. Kurtula leads. Leicht 2nd, Miranda 3rd, Holler 4th, Anderson 5th, Mikesell 6th, Tyler Snyder 7th, Penfold 8, Walden 9, and Kaleb Gillock rounding out the top 10. Right now, it's all Luis Martinez can do to keep the 7 of Peter Kurtula at bay. Kurtula looking to put Martinez a lap down. Right now, everyone on the lead lap, the only car laps down is the 5 of Robert Matthews. He was the one involved in that early incident. Out front, the 7 of Kurtula looks to the inside of Martinez. Martinez giving Kurtula plenty of room. Now Peter Kurtula is going to go on by. That's going to be Kurtula in 1st, with Leicht 2nd, Miranda 3rd, Anderson 4th, and A.J. Mikesell 5th. Tyler Snyder's dropped back now to the 6th spot, with Penfold in 7th, Walden 8th, Kaleb Gillock moving up into 9th, and Terry Watson now showing up in 10th. Peter Kurtula leads. We are 7 laps in. Kurtula closing in on the 5 of Robert Matthews, looking to put Matthews 3 laps down. Matthews involved in that early incident. We're on lap 8 of 40. Kurtula gets 2 wheels below the line. He spins, collects the leader. Leader goes up into the wall. He spins. That collects the 11. That's going to bring the 3 and the 6 get involved as well. Now the 9, the 7 not holding the brake. Hard to see who's going to be in the lead here. I think it might be... Who is going to be in the lead here? Is that going to be the 6? No, the 6 is spinning and flipping. I have no idea what's going on or who is in the lead. Out front, it looks like it's Carl Penfold that's taken the lead. Penfold, the benefactor of the leader, that would have been Peter Kurtula, spinning at the lead of the pack, taking out a host of cars. That's going to make Penfield first, Tyler Snyder second, Christopher Walden third, Kaleb Gillock will move into fourth, and Terry Watson now will be in fifth. So a big crash on lap number 9 takes out a number of the lead cars, and that's going to be to the benefit of a number of other drivers out front. It's the 9 of Carl Penfold. Penfold in that looks like maybe a Transformers machine. That looks like it might be Optimus Prime looking out the back deck of that Legends car. 11 laps in the books. Carl Penfold leads, Tyler Snyder second, Christopher Walden third. Looks like Kaleb Gillock taking a little higher line. Gillock running in fourth. Gillock may be looking to conserve some tires early and try to have a little something left for these guys later in the race. Let's take a walk through the field and see how everyone is running. Out front, that's Penfold. The second place car, that's the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Snyder about maybe a half a second back. Then behind Snyder, it's the 8 of Christopher Walden. Walden running in the third spot. Behind Walden, it's the 4 of Kaleb Gillock. Those top 4 cars with about a 14-second lead over the rest of the field. Behind Gillock, the next car on the racetrack is the 14 of Terry Watson. Watson currently running 5th. Then behind Watson, that's the 7 of Peter Kurtula. Kurtula was your leader. He is now 11th, 4 laps down. Right. Then behind Kurtula would come, it looks like the 13 of Jesse Holler. Holler currently shown in the 6th spot. Next car on the speedway would be the 11 of Luis Martinez. Luis Martinez running 9th. Then behind Martinez, that's the Pennzoil car, the 10 of Alfredo Miranda. Miranda in the 7th spot, still on the lead lap. Behind Miranda on the speedway is the 5 of Robert Matthews. Matthews in 10th, 2 laps down. Then behind Matthews, it's the 6. We saw the 6 take a wild ride. That's A.J. Mikesell. He's currently shown in 12th, 12 laps back. Behind Mikesell, we're back around to the leader, Carl Penfold. Penfold beginning to pull away from the rest of the field as it looks like Kaleb Gillock now is taking a look to the inside of the 8 of Christopher Walden. Gillock gets position on Walden, goes down into turn number 3 and makes that pass. Gillock going to take over the 3rd spot now. Kaleb Gillock trying to close in on the 2nd place car. That would be the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Gillock with a pretty good race car here, putting a little distance between himself and the 4th place car of Walden. But out front, it is still the 9 of Carl Penfold. Penfold running a nice smooth race as he leads the field. We are 20 laps in, halfway this time by, and it's going to be Carl Penfold with the lead. Penfold running a nice smooth race, takes the car out of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway, and Carl Penfold pulling away just a bit. Kaleb Gillock now closing onto the back bumper of the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Let's zoom in and have a look at that race as Kaleb Gillock looks like he's trying to find his way around the 12. Gillock lets the car drift up just a bit in the center of the corner, then turns down as he comes out of 4, trying to set up a pass here. It looks to me like Gillock trying to find a way to set up a pass on the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Gillock about a car length and a half behind the 12, trying to find his way around. Snyder lets the car drift up just a bit. Gillock comes out of turn number 4 and closes. He's to within about a car length and a half. Both those cars now appear to be closing on the 9 of Carl Penfold. Penfold's car may be dropping off just a bit. There are 18 laps to go. Plenty of time here for the 12 and the 4, Snyder and Gillock to close in on Carl Penfold. Through turns 1 and 2, Gillock again running that high line. Looks like he's getting a really good run off the corners and down the back straightaway. Just not good enough to try to get a fender underneath and find his way around the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Snyder holds Gillock off. We're going to stay right here where the action is. The battle for second. Carl Penfold just in the edge of your screen there. You can see him exit stage left. Penfold running first. The 12 of Snyder slides just a little bit as he comes out of turn number 4. That allows Gillock to close up again. Gillock about a car length back of the 12 of Tyler Snyder. These two cars definitely closing on the 9 of Carl Penfold. Gillock running a slightly higher line here, conserving some tires, I believe, trying to find a way to get around the 12 and still have enough left to chase down the 9 of Carl Penfold. Gillock looks to the high side again, no dice, now looks to the inside. He's been trying to set this pass up all day. He had a really good run, didn't have quite enough room to get underneath the 12 of Tyler Snyder. The 12 leaving the door open now. Kaleb Gillock looks to the inside. It looks like he's got position on the 12 as they come down the back straightaway into turn number 3. It's going to be Kaleb Gillock with the advantage over Tyler Snyder now out onto the front straightaway. Gillock trying to make this pass stick. The two drivers giving each other plenty of room. Some mutual respect here out on the racetrack. The 12 bounces off the wall as he got a little bit high, and that's going to put Kaleb Gillock into the second spot. And he set his sights on the 9 of Carl Penfold. Gillock has run a nice smooth race here early on, avoided a big accident, both he and the 9 and the 12 for that matter, avoiding a huge crash that took out a large number of cars. Gillock now with a great race car. Look at that car rotate through the center of the corner. Looks like Penfold's car maybe is tightening up just a bit. He's not able to get that car to turn down coming out of the corner. Kaleb Gillock with a really nice move here to try to get underneath the 9 of Penfold. Penfold giving Gillock plenty of room. It's going to be Kaleb Gillock taking the lead. There are 10 to go. Now 9 to go this time by. Kaleb Gillock takes the lead with 9 to go at South Boston. It's Kaleb Gillock out front. The 9 of Penfold second. Behind Penfold, that is the 12 of Tyler Snyder. Snyder having recovered from bouncing off the wall a few laps back. Snyder now looking to the inside of Penfold as the 9 begins to fade. Behind Snyder and Penfold, it's the 8 of Christopher Walden. And then the 14 of Terry Watson. Those 5 cars are your top 5. Alfredo Miranda currently running 6th. With Jesse Holler 7th. It looks like the lapped car of Peter Kurtula. He was your early leader. He has closed in now on the back bumper of Kaleb Gillock. Gillock really starting to put some distance between himself and the second place car of Carl Penfold. Kaleb Gillock probably going to give the bottom to the 7 of Kurtula here and just let Kurtula go. Gillock with a big lead. Kurtula on new tires, a much faster race car. Kaleb Gillock letting that lapped car go, playing some smart racing here at South Boston. 6 laps to go. We can also see the lapped car of Robert Matthews closing in on the 4 of Gillock. The difference new tires make, they cure all ills. But if you take a look at the way this race is going, it's Gillock, then 2 lapped cars. That would be the 5 of Robert Matthews and the 1 of Stephen Leicht. Then Carl Penfold. Penfold 2 seconds back. You can just see him coming out of, actually just coming into the corner right here as Gillock is exiting. So Gillock with about a half a straightaway lead with 4 laps to go. All Kaleb Gillock needs to do here is run a nice smooth race. This is his race to lose. He's going to give some room to the 5 car. That's Robert Matthews. Let Matthews go by. Stephen Leicht is going to turn down coming out of turn number 2. Gillock will let the lapped car of Leicht go. That's going to put Kaleb Gillock out front all by himself. Several seconds back now to the 9 of Carl Penfold. There are 3 to go. Now 2 to go this time by. It is Kaleb Gillock with the lead, followed by Penfold, Snyder, Walden, and Terry Watson. Gillock down the back straightaway into turn number 3, running a nice smooth race in that Captain Jack's Johnson iRacing Team Legend car. Kaleb Gillock with 1 to go. He's going to take the white flag. And Kaleb Gillock is really putting on a clinic here late in the race. That race car holding up well. A good setup underneath the 4 as Gillock has continued to be quick and has pulled away from the fading cars of Carl Penfold and Tyler Snyder. At the line, that will be Kaleb Gillock taking the win, followed by the 9 of Penfold. Then Tyler Snyder in the 12. Terry Watson in the 14 with Christopher Walden in car number 8. In the 6th spot, it's going to be Alfredo Miranda. In 7th, Jesse Holler. 8th, Peter Kurtula. 9th, A.J. Mikesell. And 10th, Zachary Apperson. Looks like Christopher Walden must have just gotten by Terry Watson at the line. So it's Walden in 4th and Watson in 5th. The win, though, goes to Kaleb Gillock. Kaleb racing out of the Midwest, a member of the Johnson iRacing team, running a nice, smooth race at South Boston Speedway. That'll do it for this Advanced Legends Cup race for the Johnson iRacing team on the Johnson iRacing Network. This is Aaron Johnson saying, go fast, turn left, have fun.